I always thought corporate life was just endless stacks of paperwork and stuffy boardroom meetings, but I was wrong. Danger lurked there, nestled between the cubicles and beneath the polished veneer of prestige and power. My hands were shaking as I typed this, my heart racing like a runaway train. I feel like I'm living in the plot of a thriller, except this isn't fiction. It's my life now. My name is Isabella Tompson, and until last week, I was just another cog in the corporate machine at Kane Industries. I started working there 2 years ago, right after college. Fresh-faced and eager, I believed in the company's vision. I idolized our CEO, Rita Kane. She was everything I thought a successful woman in business should be: charismatic, intelligent, and seemingly fair. But I learned that a dazzling smile and a well-tailored suit could hide monstrous intentions. It all began when a scandal erupted involving Ross, a partner at the firm. He was accused of embezzling millions, a shocking revelation that sent ripples through the entire company. I was stunned. Ross was the kind of guy who bought bagels for everyone on Fridays and stayed late to help colleagues. I couldn't reconcile the charges with the person I knew. The investigation was swift and ruthless. Rita herself had pushed it forward with a cold determination that had been unsettling at the time but now makes total sense. Ross denied everything, but the evidence was damning enough that even his closest allies had to distance themselves. He was swiftly dismissed, his reputation shattered, his life in ruins. In the chaotic days that followed, I stumbled upon the truth. I was working late. I do that a lot since I don't have much waiting for me at home, and I overheard a conversation that froze my blood. It was coming from the boardroom, and the door was slightly ajar. I shouldn't have eavesdropped, but something about the tension in Rita's voice made me pause. I stealthily approached, my curiosity piqued. The conversation was between Rita and another executive. They talked in hushed tones, but I caught the gist of it. Rita was boastfully recounting how she had orchestrated the embezzlement scandal, framing Ross to eliminate a rival who was becoming too influential. She spoke about it with the detachment of someone discussing the weather. Every word was a dagger to my chest. I felt sick, betrayed, and so very, very small. There was a part of me that wanted to walk away, pretend I hadn't heard anything, but I couldn't do that. Not with someone's life being destroyed out of sheer ambition. I stood there, heart pounding, fingers trembling, fumbling my phone from my pocket. I started recording the conversation. It was wrong, I knew it, but it felt like the only weapon I had against the towering injustice. The recording was damning. Rita talked about manipulating financial reports, creating fake accounts, and even looping in a few compliant board members to ensure Ross's guilt was unquestionable. It was a masterclass in deceit, and listening to her cackle over her cleverness made my skin crawl. I remember making the decision that night. I would expose Rita no matter the cost. It was terrifying, the thought of going against someone so powerful, but I couldn't let Ross suffer for crimes he hadn't committed. The next day, I was a bundle of nerves at the office. Every time Rita walked past, her intimidating presence sent shivers down my spine. I couldn't meet her eyes, afraid she'd see straight through to my guilty conscience. But I held my resolve. I reached out to Ross discreetly, sending him a cryptic email from an anonymous account with the recording attached. It didn't take long for the storm to hit. Ross's lawyer contacted the media, and the recording was leaked. The fallout was immediate and chaotic. News outlets pounced, and within hours, it was all over the headlines. Rita Kane, once a paragon of corporate virtue, was now a villainous mastermind. I expected her to be toppled immediately, but Rita was nothing if not resilient. She went on damage control, denying the voice on the tape was hers, even claiming it was doctored. But the evidence was overwhelming. Investigations were launched, both internally and externally. The atmosphere at work was electric, charged with whispers and furtive glances. People speculated about who had leaked the tape, but no one suspected me. I was just the quiet one in the corner, diligently doing my work. The invisibility that often felt like a curse had become my shield. Rita was placed on administrative leave pending further investigation. Watching her leave the building, head held high despite everything, was surreal. I felt a rush of vindication, but also a pang of fear. She was the kind of person who didn't forget those who crossed her. For Ross, it was a bitter victory. His name was cleared, but the damage to his reputation and his mental health lingered. I watched from afar as he tried to piece his life back together, and it weighed heavily on me that I didn't reveal myself as his savior. In the days that followed, I grappled with my decision. Had I done the right thing? Yes, I'd stood up for justice, but I had also crossed a line, breaking trust and confidentiality. The moral grayness gnawed at me. If you're enjoying this story, hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you never miss another one. I couldn't shake the fear that Rita would somehow figure out it was me. I started looking over my shoulder, jumping at shadows. The stress was debilitating, but I couldn't show it. I had to pretend everything was normal, even as my world teetered on the brink. And then one evening, when the office was almost empty, I found a note on my desk. It was a slip of paper folded in half, my name scrawled across it in elegant script. My heart stopped when I recognized the handwriting, Rita's. I felt a chill race down my spine as I read it. She didn't name me explicitly, but the message was clear. It said she admired my courage, that I had underestimated her, and ominously hinted that one should always expect the unexpected. The note terrified me, but it also gave me a strange sense of relief. It seemed Rita wasn't going to destroy me, at least not right away. Whether it was because she couldn't prove anything or she respected my audacity, I wasn't sure. In the end, I realized that living with fear is a small price for doing what's right. I exposed a corrupt powerhouse and helped an innocent man regain his life. It's a victory I'll carry silently, my contribution to justice, hidden beneath layers of everyday normalcy. As I write this, the events feel like a fever dream. The boardroom, once just a place for dull meetings, became the stage for something bigger than myself. Sometimes I wonder if I'll ever feel safe again, but I've made my peace with the uncertainty. Because at least now, I know who the real ghosts in the boardroom are.